from a very long distance.
If it's just gonna be us, I don't have a problem with going maskless, especially since it's gonna be video.
Are you sure? I don't know. I want you to feel very.
At this point, I've been
Okay,
here.
so I'm not on this committee, but
Then
I'm
we'll
not
leave
supposed to
them
stay to listen in. Do you want me to sit over here?
No.
Let's make sure I don't say anything.
Chris, are you ready?
Chris is ready.
Everybody,
Rules and regs will come to order. First order of business is to choose a chair. Do
well,
I have
actually,
nominations for the position of chair?
I nominate Tia Bidwell.
Is there a second? Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Yay, Tia.
Here you go.
You're gonna have to help walk me through this.
Well, now we have to go back.
Just don't hit the gavel too hard.
Start
On
with
the agenda, approval of
approving
minutes, which we don't have.
First order of business is approval of minutes, May 15th, 2020.
That would be, were there minutes?
Yes, they're attached to your agenda.
Oh, second page.
Do I have a motion?
Yeah, yeah. Say it loud.
I need a motion. Second? Do I have a second?
I haven't read them yet.
Oh, go ahead.
Second.
Thank you. All approved?
No, any further discussion?
Any further discussion? Those in favor? Those opposed? None? All right, do we have any open forum?
It looks like David has it, but he's. So, I'm handing it.
Say that again?
He's not a member, he's a renter.
He's a renter.
So we do not have any member comments.
No. He's a renter, then, no.
Okay. We already did selection of committee chair, new business. Anyone?
Is there anything from, like, left over from the last several meetings?
I think there is. I don't have them today. Did not expect to be chair today, but we do need to have a meeting and discuss some that are lingering from the last committee.
Yeah, we might want to have like a handoff, maybe you and Jerry, the former
Yeah.
chair, have a meeting, kind of a handoff, any things that, that he was contemplating to move forward.
Yeah.
We do know this is that with assuming that the policies that will go up for a second vote at the regular meeting of the board, assuming that those are approved by the board, then all provisions or all policies and bylaws that needed to be adjusted as a result of the approval of the 2020 plan would be complete. So after that, it's any additional adjustments to the policies and bylaws that this committee feels needs to be undertaken.
And I personally feel that we should do that throughout this next year of dividing up the policies, rereading them, really making sure that we understand everything, that if we have any suggestions, get member input for any changes that we might not notice, because as we've seen over the past month, changes happen.
I just had noted a couple of things as I was at committee meetings this month and from today, that we might want to look at the maximum, I don't know if it's called penalty, the 30-day maximum number of days that you can suspend a member's.
Unfortunately, that is in the declaration, which is
Ah.
something that is
Forget that.
almost impossible to change. You are completely correct. In my last community, when we had egregious situations, we could suspend people for 6 months. Unfortunately, it's very clear that it's limited to 30 days.
Does it, I guess I need to go back and look up in the declarations, but does it specify what the conditions are that need to be met before the 30 days is imposed, or just?
No, and what if you go through and look at the disciplinary section policy, I don't remember what policy it is. I included it in that email that I sent out the other day. But if you go through that, it's fairly well written, and it gives a very orderly manner in the way that you handle disciplinary situations. I feel it's very adequate because it's actually a policy that I by and large copied from my last community that we went through trial and error and finally got it right, at least right in my opinion. But one of the things that you might want to consider, it would not apply to this naming of a new board member, but we were talking about how do we, okay, the board has an open position that needs to be filled. Maybe this committee would want to go and add more detail to that.
Right.
Okay, this is, resume means this. You have
was
this
my next
long of a notice, and, you could add a lot more clarity to it, so that it's not this nebulous, resume can be this, resume can be that,
Yeah,
so
sure.
you might want to add more structure to that policy.
Another thing is that I think we all agreed we need to put more meat on the bones of is member forum or open forum,
Yes.
and how that will be conducted.
Mhm. So, what I would recommend is, we have a lawyer, so if the committee decides that they want to look at a particular policy, then, through the chair, send the information to Doug and say, look, Doug, we would like you to work on, policy 1, 2, 3. I'm concerned about this section. We had to add, this is our goal, and let him work through it, and then go back to you with recommendations.
I think policy 1.07 needs to be our very first to look at. Do we want to take a week for this committee to come up with some suggestions, then send to Doug for review? Agreed.
Yes.
With that particular one, our next meeting, I don't know that we want to wait a month, because if we do it again at the next GM, it could be pretty lengthy on that day. Do we want to meet in a week or two? How do y'all feel? We normally have about a month in between, but
My schedule is open.
Well, I may be called out with that Texas, it's a family issue, but I'll start looking at it now. I think 2 weeks. I think
2
it's
weeks.
probably-
do we have, Tammy, do we have anything on the 25th?
Yeah, we have the regular meeting. If the rules and regs were to meet at, say, 4 or 4:30, you could make sure that this meeting is over with
Done by then?
before the regular meeting, which starts at 6, which is quite possible.
On the 25th at 4:30? Does that
25th
work
at
for
4:30?
everybody?
What date is that? Date is that?
25th, it's a Thursday.
Thursday.
before our
Great.
open meeting? David? Does that work for you? 4:30 on the 25th?
This month,
Yes.
yeah, it's right before the.
Right before?
Yeah.
Mary, is that good for you? Okay. I think that's it. Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
We are adjourned.
Can we wait for this to meeting all this, all